Frank, you're on the air. Hi.
Yo, Howard.
Hey, brother.
Howard, I love you, man. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, a couple things. I mean, two things I've been dying to ask you for a long time. Number one, well, actually, this is the first one, actually.
Quickly, Frank. I'm getting nervous with you.
How wacky is Donald Trump, and why don't you call him wacky? Because all the bullshit he's been doing for this past 2 months.
Look, I like Trump. He's a guest on my show. He's not going to be running for president. Don't get nervous. As far as this birther thing goes, it's if you're asking me about that, it's nonsense. Hey, listen, he's playing up to these assholes in the Tea Party with this birther thing. It's, first of all, listen, to be a politician who understands to run for a presidency, you got to have a sophistication about what's going on in this country in order to even get votes. And you've got to have, listen, it's the same thing as this Sarah Palin. She sunk John McCain. She doesn't know anything. Donald Trump is a good guy. He's fascinating to watch and listen to. I love having him on the show. He's got lots of opinions. He's not running for president. Now, as far as this birther thing goes, listen, anybody with half a fucking brain understands what's going on. Number one, they're challenging this guy because he's a black man. Don't kid yourself.
Thank you.
You got to understand something. I'm not one of these guys who plays the race card all the time. Look, I've had a tough life as a black guy, but I don't play the race card all the time. But this is a simple example of this. Listen, most people in this country who are black can't even trace back 3 generations of their roots because they were enslaved. Now, if you know about Hawaii, Hawaii is not a state of this country for very long, quite frankly.
In our lifetime, it was made a state. Yeah.
That's right. I was alive when they made that a state, and when I met John Gotti. I was 3. So, look, when you were born in Hawaii, their process there, okay, is they have a birth certificate that they file somewhere, but they give you as a proof of your birth. I don't care who you are. I know if you're born in Hawaii, you are given a certificate that is not a birth certificate, but it is legal and proves where you were born.
Right.
Okay? It's simple. No Hawaiian has a birth certificate that they're talking about.
No,
anyone born in Hawaii is a citizen of the United States with what is essentially a birth certificate, but it's an abbreviated birth certificate. Do you understand? Okay.
I'm with you.
All right. Now, this isn't unusual. The reason, and then you say, well, why didn't the president find his birth certificate faster? I'll tell you why. Because you can't get it. It's buried in records. Why would it be an issue? That's like saying to me, my birth certificate isn't good enough. Go find something else to prove. It's his birth certificate. You got to stop the fucking nonsense already with this guy. He's a citizen.
That's what I'm saying.
And then for a while it was that he's a fucking Muslim who is on a jihad. Is on a jihad. You know, Fox News. Okay, so now the guy produces his birth certificate. I'm going to play a clip from Fox News. These guys are off their rocker. That's why I watch them constantly.
You got to keep your eye on them.
It's entertaining, but I don't take them seriously. I don't get my news from Fox News. I read the New York Times, which is the fucking paper. It's a miracle, that paper. But here's Fox News. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Here you go. Here's Fox News. You've never heard anything more moronic than this.
You need to know this. You see this fold? This has clearly been photocopied from a book. You see that? It kind of folds back to almost like the binding of a book.
Yes.
And then for some reason, there's a green border around it that had to be photoshopped in. I'm trying to figure out why that.
Now, this is a discussion about the new birth certificate.
Now they're analyzing the new document and saying, okay, can we? And these are no experts.
Wait, it gets even more bizarre. This isn't even the bizarre part yet. This is the preamble.
This whole border is suspect. I mean, if you're taking a scan of something, it would. To your point, it would be white. Why is this the color of the same?
Note this, you guys. April 25th, 2011, 2 days ago, is when this was requested from the state registrar, Alvin Onaka. So we'll keep our eye on it. We'll keep digging. Hey, listen, it may or may not be.
They're going to keep digging. Listen, they're not done.
You know what? Whatever you do, he still was the president for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, you give him a break.
You can never make him have not been the president.
They'll figure out a way to do that.
They're going to erase him.
Certainly opens up the can of worms that there are at least questions.
President Obama, in his speech that Keith was talking about, dismissed anybody who raises legitimate questions about this man's background or origins as a sideshow and as a carnival barker. Now, that was a direct slam at Donald Trump. However, we've got this document produced today, which means President Obama 0, carnival barker 1.
There's a reason. We don't know it yet, but there's a reason why he wouldn't have released this a long time ago. I don't know what that is, and he hasn't told us. I think that's important. We don't have the why from him, because what, he didn't have time?
Very quickly, Pamela, this doctor right here, the guy who signed it 4 days after the birth, he passed away, but his wife today, TMZ, had his wife saying,
the doctor who signed the birth certificate passed away.
I had no idea. She didn't know.
And now the wife says she has no idea that Obama was produced by her.
Why should she?
Of course
not. At every birth.
I told you, it gets weirder.
About it. His son said, I had no idea. It came as a complete shock to him as well. If you gave birth to the President of the United States, don't you think your family would know about it?
Yeah, well,
you don't know he's the president when he's born.
He died in 2003. How many doctors who give who do this kind of care remember who gave birth? They've done thousands
he's
of
not
births.
the president when he comes out.
No, you know.
Oh, I just delivered the president.
This kid looks like the president.
I think it's very telling that for 3 years he didn't release it. There's a big question there. We have to say why. Why didn't he release it after 3 years? Remember something. Every single president has been scrutinized. Bush, every document of Bush. And when they didn't find what they wanted of Bush, they actually forged the gold standard of journalism, Dan Rather, forged documents for his service in Vietnam. And they knew he volunteered for Vietnam. Right. But we are not allowed to see the birth certificate. We're not allowed to see his school records. We're not allowed to see his application.
Now they want the school records. They're not stopping.
Look, and I'm sorry he ever produced anything. Because, look, it's just fueling their fire.
That's right.
We got him to react.
This is like the people who said OJ is innocent. They don't have a videotape of him killing Nicole. This is what this is like. It's the same stupidity. Now, here's what's said. 48% of the people in this country don't believe Obama is a citizen. Now, or rather, was born in this country.
Yeah, you know, that 48% doesn't know Hawaii's a state.
Why would you believe that even? Why? I mean, where would you come up with that kind of belief? You got to be a fucking maniac.
But I was upset when I heard that a new document had been released.
Yeah, well, because it's going to, as you can see, this isn't stopping. Now, where are his school records?
That's my point. It's just like these people only need a reaction. It's like a little kid who, you know, if he starts to do something and you start to notice, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Right. That's what these people are like. Chris Rock is right. Well, they're like kids who need a nap.
It's fun, though. You know, this is an easy concept. You know, when you hear these guys on TV screaming about abortion, it's such an easy concept to wrap your head around. You know, either you're for it or against it. You know?
Yeah, meanwhile, the whole country's falling apart.
Right. It's a dumb conversation. We need abortion. Not every baby is going to be born. We got a huge problem here. People don't want to take care of babies they don't want.
But it's a simple problem. It's between a woman and her doctor.
But when you get
involved, has nothing to do with the country.
Right. But it's a great conversation piece for idiots who don't know anything about government and what's going on. And the same with this birther thing. You hear this woman? She's a complete maniac. Why are we going to get his? We're going to keep investigating until we get his dental records. There's no record of him in school. There's no.
Is he really alive?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Is he really Obama? And then, you know, even the Franklin Graham thing of I see him going to church, but that doesn't mean he's a Christian.
Right. Oh, they just fucking hate him.
Oh, just say it already. We don't want a black man for president.
I haven't seen anybody...
we can't have a black president.
I haven't seen anybody this hated since the Jews in Nazi Germany.